Conjuring cinematic universe has spawned sequels and spin-offs and sequels to spin-offs, and with the latest installment, The Devil Made Me Do It, on the horizon, it's showing no sign of slowing down. But let's take a look back at the 2013 James Wan film that started it all. Here are 7 things you didn't know about The Conjuring. Probably. You probably already knew this, but The Conjuring is scary. But do you know how scary it is? Horror films typically earn R ratings for violence, gore, profanity, or nudity, but The Conjuring is fairly light on all of these, and the producers were hoping it would get a PG-13. However, the MPAA felt the movie was just too generally scary, and there wasn't even a specific scene that could be cut to lower the rating. Not even this.
Nancy?
And since the filmmakers didn't want to alter the film's overall tone, the R rating stuck, sending shivers down the spines of Catholic priests everywhere, which is a segue that will make sense in a second. Thanks to the just plain scary R rating, when The Conjuring was released in the Philippines, some moviegoers reported feeling an evil presence after leaving the theater. So, Catholic priests were hired to bless viewers before seeing it and were kept on hand to offer spiritual and psychological support afterwards, which, and I can't prove this, is the first and only time Catholicism proved the MPAA right. Next thing. Based on a true story is frequently slapped on movies, even if the based on is given liberal amounts of creative license. However, in the case of The Conjuring, the real-life Lorraine Warren and Andrea Perron were consulted by the filmmakers and have vouched for the film's authenticity. Some changes, however, were made. For instance, the film has a nice little Hollywood happy ending, but in reality, the Warrens' presence in the house aggravated the spirits so much that the Perrons eventually kicked the demonologists out.
Let's get out of here.
That said, Andrea Perron has called The Conjuring a work of art rather than a work of fiction, which, as a diplomatic review of the movie, is a work of art in itself. After her debut in The Conjuring, Annabelle the Doll has since spawned her own trilogy of standalone films, and while the real-life Warrens did investigate a doll possessed by the spirit of someone named Annabelle, the actual doll was slightly less creepy than the one shown on screen. It was a Raggedy Ann doll, and just like the one in the movie that's kept under lock and key, the original Annabelle is on display at the Warrens Museum of the Occult in Monroe, Connecticut, safely secured behind some sort of phantasm plexiglass. Unsurprisingly, The Conjuring's production might have been just as haunted as the true story it was, air quotes, based on. While consulting the real Lorraine Warren over the phone, the filmmakers reported an unusual amount of distortion. And James Wan recalled one night working on the screenplay, his dog got very upset by some unseen presence in the corner of the room. Meanwhile, the morning after signing on to play Lorraine, Vera Farmiga awoke to find 3 large, fresh scratches on her laptop screen. And when visiting the set, the Perron family noticed a strong cold breeze, which inexplicably didn't move any leaves on nearby trees. And even more inexplicably, our next thing is also about a tree. Spooky, right? You may know that nature is scary, but what you may not know is it's apparently not scary enough for James Wan. The enormous creepy tree featured prominently on the poster and throughout the movie was a total fabrication, both narratively and physically. It was an idea of James Wan's that was turned into a 50-foot set piece by the production team. As for the house itself, though the original parent farmhouse was in Rhode Island, The Conjuring was filmed in North Carolina at a suitably creepy house because, like I've always said, it's easier to find creepy houses than creepy trees. Meanwhile, back in Rhode Island, our last thing is about the actual haunted farmhouse. The current owners reported nothing spookily out of the ordinary prior to 2012, but they began hearing things go bump in the night after the movie came out. Not from evil spirits, but from trespassing Conjuring fans and occultists.
What? I had to go.
The owners allegedly sued Warner Brothers for monetary damages and a brand new security system, but there's no evidence it ever went to trial. They have since resorted to selling tickets for daily investigation tours of the house, which can be booked online. And we will not be sharing that link.
Well, like I said, it doesn't always work when you want it to.
There you have it. What's your favorite piece of Conjuring trivia? And which of the movies in the Conjuring Conjumatic Conjureverse should we conjure up a video for next? Let us know in the comments, and for everything movies, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more things you didn't know.